drawing a big flower. Cool, mine is a rocket. I'm making a tree. Let's add more.
That day I learned something terrifying. My 3-year-old daughter is a heart patient. My house is not under the HOA. And yet, the HOA president tied my little girl to a tree with a rope. By the time I reached her, her lips were pale, her hands cold, and she wasn't responding. 10 minutes later I was in an ambulance. 3 weeks later, I was in court. But the real shock. She still believed she did nothing wrong. This all started in what used to be the quietest neighborhood we had ever lived in. We moved there because of peace. The houses were spaced out, trees lined the sidewalks, kids rode bicycles in the evenings, and people actually waved when you drove past. The HOA community sat right beside our property, same street, same look, but legally separate. Our home wasn't under their rules. We owned our land independently. At first, nobody cared. Except her. Her name was Carol, but everyone called her HOA Karen. Perfect lawn. Perfect hair. Perfect smile that never reached her eyes. And for some reason, she watched our house. Every single day. At first it was small things. She'd slow her golf cart when passing. Stop. Look at our porch. Look at our driveway. Then drive away. I ignored it. We had bigger priorities, especially my daughter Aina. Aina is 3 years old. She was born with a small hole in her heart. Doctors told us she needed a calm life. No heavy stress, no extreme fear, no overexertion. We did everything to keep her happy and relaxed. And the thing that made her happiest? Sidewalk chalk. Every afternoon she would sit on the driveway in her little yellow dress and draw suns, flowers, stick people, sometimes just circles she called balloons. Soon, the neighbor kids joined her. A 5-year-old boy from next door. An 8-year-old girl from across the street. They turned the driveway into a colorful mess. But every evening, we washed it clean. Every single day. Until the pictures started being taken. The first time Karen stopped, stood across the road, and lifted her phone. Click. 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 My wife noticed. Why is she photographing children? I shrugged. Maybe HOA records or something. We were wrong. 2 days later, an envelope appeared on our door. No drawing on community visible surfaces. Violation recorded. I laughed. Because our house wasn't in the HOA. I walked across the street and handed it back to her. Ma'am, you've made a mistake. Our property isn't under HOA. Her smile tightened. If it's visible from the community, it affects community standards. It's our driveway. It's still my jurisdiction. I didn't argue. I just walked away. That should have ended it. It didn't. Next week another notice came. Then a fine. Then a warning letter. Then she stopped pretending. One afternoon she marched straight onto our driveway while the kids were drawing. Stop this right now. All 3 children froze. My daughter clutched the chalk in her tiny fist. I came outside immediately. You cannot keep vandalizing the visual environment, she snapped. I stared at her. This is chalk. You were warned. This is private property. This neighborhood has standards. I stepped closer. And this house isn't in your HOA. My wife added calmly, we clean it every evening. The kids are just playing. Karen leaned toward my daughter. Next time I see this, I will deal with it properly. Something in her tone made my stomach drop. I said firmly, you will not speak to my child like that. She glared, then walked off. That night we debated installing cameras. We should have done it immediately. Because the next afternoon, everything changed. I had stepped inside to take a call. My wife was in the kitchen. The kids were drawing again, laughing, covering the driveway in bright colors. And for the first time, no adults were on the porch. Karen saw her chance. She walked onto our property. She grabbed a rope lying near the gardening tools. And she called the children over in a deceptively calm voice. "Come here. All of you." The older kids hesitated. My daughter didn't understand danger. Minutes later, we heard screaming. Real screaming. Not playful. Terrified. When I ran outside, my world stopped. 3 children tied to the tree beside our driveway. Hands bound. Crying hysterically. And my daughter, slumped sideways, silent. Her yellow dress dusty against the bark. Her head tilted unnaturally. I dropped to my knees. "Aina. Aina." No response. Her skin was cold. My wife screamed for an ambulance. The older kids kept repeating the same words. She said she'd cut our hands if we draw again. And in that moment, I wasn't scared anymore. I was furious. But I had no idea, this was only the beginning. The ambulance ride felt longer than my entire life. The paramedic kept checking her pulse while my wife held her tiny hand, whispering her name over and over. "Aina, Baba Yahan Hai, Enkine Kolo." For a moment I thought we lost her. Then her fingers twitched. The medic looked at me. She fainted from shock and pressure drop. "Does she have a condition?" My voice shook. "She's a cardiac patient, hole in the heart." His face changed instantly. "Driver, faster." At the hospital they rushed her inside while we waited outside emergency doors that refused to open fast enough. I've never felt that powerless. 10 minutes later felt like 10 years. Finally the doctor walked out. "She's stable." I almost collapsed. She experienced severe panic response. Her blood pressure dropped dangerously low. If she stayed like that longer, it could have been very serious. My wife started crying. But my relief lasted only seconds. Because 2 police officers entered the hallway. "Sir, we need a statement." I told them everything. Every warning. Every notice. Every threat. Then the older kids' parents arrived and told the officers what their children said. She tied them to a tree. And threatened to cut their hands. The officers looked at each other. That wasn't an HOA violation anymore. That was assault. An hour later they went to Karen's house. We later learned what happened there. She opened the door calmly, like she expected visitors. "Yes, officers." "Ma'am, we're investigating an incident involving 3 children." Her response. "Oh, that. I disciplined them." One officer blinked. "You tied children to a tree. They were vandalizing the neighborhood. It's private property. It affects community standards." And the threats? "I was teaching consequences." That sentence alone sealed everything. They detained her that evening. But she still didn't understand. The next day she actually sent an HOA email claiming she acted in community interest. That email became evidence number 1. We also finally installed cameras. And what they captured, removed all doubt. Her walking in. Taking the rope. Binding their hands. My daughter trying to pull away. Her yelling inches from their faces. In court, the room was silent as the footage played. Karen sat confidently at first. Then the judge paused the video right where my daughter collapsed. The judge removed his glasses slowly. "You saw a toddler lose consciousness, and left." Karen answered calmly. "I assumed she was pretending." You could hear people gasp. The prosecutor leaned forward. "You were informed this property is not under HOA authority multiple times." She replied. "It borders the HOA. That makes it my responsibility. Then came the moment she truly lost. My lawyer placed the property survey map on the screen. Highlighted boundary lines. Stamped county approval. This house is legally independent land. The HOA has zero jurisdiction. Karen still spoke. Rules exist for a reason. The judge interrupted her. Not yours. The verdict came faster than anyone expected. Child endangerment. Unlawful restraint. Criminal intimidation. Trespassing. But the real shock wasn't the charges. It was the civil case. Because medical reports confirmed the panic episode triggered a cardiac emergency risk. Our lawyer didn't go after revenge. We went after protection. Court-ordered permanent restraining order, she can never come near our property again. Mandatory psychological evaluation. Removal from HOA board. And financial damages covering medical costs and future treatment monitoring. But the ending that mattered most happened weeks later. Anna was back outside. Same driveway. Same yellow dress. Holding chalk again. She hesitated before drawing. Then looked at me. Papa, safe? I knelt beside her. Yes. Always. She drew a crooked little sun. Then a house. Then 3 stick kids holding hands. No tree. No rope. Just colors. For the first time since that day. The neighborhood actually felt peaceful again. And this time, permanently.
Hi, thanks for watching. Sometimes the little voices deserve the strongest protection. If you believe that too, subscribe and share your thoughts below.